Rumors surfaced as recently as February of this year that development of Gears 6 is in full swing. Whilst the Coalition haven't officially confirmed anything just yet, it was well known that they were at one stage working on a new IP in Unreal Engine 5. In fact, there were 2 games in the works at one point, both of which have potentially fallen by the wayside in favor of the next entry in Microsoft's hugely successful Gears of War franchise. So successful is Gears of War, in fact, that alongside a new game, which, whilst not announced, seems inevitable at this stage, there are movie tie-ins and an animated series in the works thanks to a freshly minted partnership with streaming giant Netflix. The inevitability of a sequel to 2019's Gears 5 rests on that game's ending too, which inarguably concluded on a cliffhanger. Principal protagonist Kait Diaz, after uncovering her familial history and shadowy destiny, vows to fight on, hellbent now on defeating the new Queen of the Swarm and, as is now known to us, her mother Reyna. How Gears 6 will handle the canonical conundrum of a predecessor whose ending hinged on a tough player decision remains to be seen too. You see, during the game's climactic battle, Kait must choose to save either good mate Del or JD Phoenix, son of Gears of War mainstay Marcus, from the clutches of the evil Swarm Queen Reyna. The main difference in narrative come Gears 5's ending following Kait's choice is felt mostly with Marcus. Sacrifice JD to save Del, and then Marcus laments the loss of his son, sorrowful and mourning whilst clutching his dog tags. Save JD with the loss of Del, then JD and Marcus embrace in a father-son bond, Marcus shedding the shackles of his grisly persona. Both endings reveal Marcus as vulnerable and emotional, but the ending where JD survives is most significant in terms of character development for both. They've been butting heads for 2 games prior, but JD surviving unlocks a lot of potential for Marcus to be handled in a new way come the next game in the series. The Coalition have not yet confirmed which ending is canon, but for the chance of a sequel rich in character development for Marcus and JD, it makes most sense if JD survives. Sorry, Del. Gears 5 already takes the series in a different direction, but a newly sensitive Marcus as playable protagonist in Gears 6 could provide a worthy narrative counterpoint to the bloody all-out war we assume will ensue in Gears 6 following the conclusion of Gears 5. Plus, if we consider the success of games with paternal story elements, titles such as God of War Ragnarok or The Last of Us, which thanks to the popularity of its HBO TV series continues a stratospheric rise, the relationships between father and child present opportunities for deep and interesting character development. The emotional heft of familial bond boosts the strength of a story too. A sometimes cited negative to Gears 5 is its underwhelming story. Having Marcus as playable protagonist as his relationship blossoms with JD against the backdrop of a war presents a mouth-watering prospect for an emotional story, and one that would hopefully be more memorable than Gears 5.
I don't believe this. I hope you're not here to stop us.
Actually...
Because you can't.
Kait.
Maybe you should try listening for once.
Kait. I'm listening.
Yeah, well, don't bother. I'm done.
Okay, because I'm here to help, if you'll have me.
Marcus and JD's father-son relationship would provide an intriguing mirror image, as elsewhere, Kait Diaz has familial ties to explore too. Throughout Gears 5, she's tormented by headaches and lucid visions of the Swarm's network. Embarking on a personal mission to discover the origin of these visions, she travels with Del to a secret lab in New Hope, then onwards to a site in Mount Kadar, following the recommendation of scientist Niall Samson. There she discovers she's the granddaughter of Queen Myra, an experiment of Samson's who became the leader and originator of the Locust Horde from whom the Swarm evolved. Furthermore, Queen Myra's daughter and Kait's mother was instrumental in turning the Locusts against humanity. Kait learns that hereditarily, she is destined to be the next Queen of the Swarm, a charge which she understandably revolts. Her visions then are a symptom of her mind being connected to the Swarm's hive mind. Kait's backstory serves as fuel for the game's climactic battle, via her justification for the rearmament of the Hammer of Dawn. What's really bubbling up beneath the surface though is the fact that the Swarm, under Reyna's leadership, are amassing an organized army, with new technology, weapons, and skills to flourish in an all-out war. Reyna's survival following Gears 5's climactic battle sets up events for Gears 6 narrative nicely. For lack of a better word, the action may resemble something more conventional, more akin to the first trio of Gears of War games, where enemy hordes assemble and attack in organized armies. But above all else, Reyna's continuing existence means Kait Diaz will be coming to terms with her origins, confronting her familial connections to the Locusts and the Swarm. The Coalition shift to Unreal Engine 5 presents perfect opportunity for Gears 6 to wield Dual-Protagonists too. Gears 5 expanded on the linearity of prior Gears of War titles with more open zone areas to explore. For Gears 6, and with the expanded scope provided by Unreal Engine 5, levels could become a myriad of pathways, locations ripe for exploration, with each character able to access certain areas that are specific to them through their particular skills and attributes. Perhaps influenced by the wealth of customization options in Gears of War's surprisingly excellent turn-based strategy spin-off Gears Tactics, Gears 6 could feature an overwhelming amount of weapon and class customizations. Of course, specific weapon modifications and equipment augmentations could be attributed specifically to Kait or Marcus too, with attachments that could facilitate their ability to explore the open linearity of Gear 6 levels and environments. Of course, the one sticking point to Marcus being portrayed as the sensitive father figure to JD in Gear 6, and thus the narrative mirroring to Kait's exploration of familial ties, is that this is based on the assumption the Coalition will opt for Del dying and JD surviving at the end of Gears 5 as canon. Whilst Del's death makes the most sense thematically, should the Coalition opt for one over the other, then they're reducing player choice to something somewhat meaningless. Unless there are plans to adopt a Mass Effect-style follow-up with different branching stories which convolutely follow previous player choice, it seems more likely the Coalition will opt for Del and JD to both take a backseat in Gear 6. This doesn't mean Marcus wouldn't have a valuable input as playable protagonist alongside Kait in Gear 6 though. Narratively, he could still display a changed persona following the traumatic events of Gears 5, especially if it turns out JD has died. That said, gameplay is always going to be the most crucial factor over innovating story structures or character traits. Gears 5 was a triumph in gameplay, and with the extra power and pizzazz afforded by Unreal Engine 5, Gears 6 will display the smoothest, most immersive moment-to-moment gunplay of the series so far. The grander scope afforded by Unreal Engine 5 means it's not out of the question Gears 6 will feature dual protagonists, and there's definitely narrative space in which to explore Kait and Marcus alongside each other. So what are your thoughts on this? Go ahead and share them in the comments below. And if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel and enable all notifications by clicking the bell icon to get new video updates. We upload every day and would really appreciate your support. Thanks for watching.